kidnapping victims have been rescued in Edo State after security operatives launched a coordinated operation against armed men who allegedly abducted motorists along the Lagos-Benin Expressway. The victims were reportedly taken into a forest after armed men blocked the Ugbogun axis near a military checkpoint, creating another alarming incident on one of Nigeria's major highways. But this time, the story ended differently. The victims were rescued alive and have since been reunited with their families. The question now is, how did the security forces track down the kidnappers? And what does this operation reveal about the growing threat of highway kidnapping in Nigeria? According to the Edo State Police Command, the incident occurred on July 30, 2026 at approximately 10:40 p.m. Police said armed men, numbering about 3, allegedly blocked the Ugbogun axis before the military checkpoint along the Lagos-Benin Expressway. The attackers reportedly used logs of wood and leaves to obstruct the road. The tactic was simple but dangerous. By creating an artificial roadblock at night, the criminals were able to force motorists to slow down or stop, giving them an opportunity to attack passengers and abduct some of the occupants. The suspects were reportedly dressed in vigilante uniforms, a detail that adds another disturbing dimension to the incident. For motorists traveling along the busy highway, the appearance of people wearing security-style clothing could create a false sense of safety. Instead, according to the police account, the attackers allegedly used the appearance as part of the operation. After receiving information about the attack, the divisional police officer of Okada Division immediately mobilized security personnel. The response involved police operatives, members of the Vigilante Group of Nigeria, local hunters, and other security stakeholders. Rather than waiting for the criminals to move further into the forest, the security teams launched what the police described as an aggressive ambush combing operation. The search was supported by drone technology. This element was particularly important because locating kidnapping victims inside large forest areas can be extremely difficult. Criminal groups often exploit thick vegetation and unfamiliar terrain to hide victims and evade security forces. The use of drones gave the security teams an additional surveillance capability, allowing them to search areas that would have been difficult to monitor from the ground alone. The operation continued as security forces increased pressure on the kidnappers. According to the police, the sustained pressure eventually forced the criminals to abandon their victims and flee. 4 hostages were left behind. The rescued victims were identified as Moritala Babatunde, Bello Aminat, Otto Prince, and Yiya Gift. The police said all 4 victims were rescued unhurt. They were subsequently reunited with their families. For the victims, the rescue brought an end to a frightening ordeal. For their families, it meant the return of loved ones who had suddenly disappeared from a journey that should have been routine. But the criminals responsible for the attack remain at large. The Edo State Police Command has said operations are continuing to apprehend the fleeing suspects and bring them to justice. This is where the story takes a wider turn. Highway kidnapping remains one of the major security concerns facing Nigerians. Major roads connecting cities and states are essential for commercial travel and economic activity. When criminals target these routes, the impact extends far beyond the immediate victims. Transport operators become fearful. Passengers become anxious, businesses face additional security concerns, and communities located along major highways can suffer from the perception that criminals are operating freely. The Edo incident also highlights the importance of rapid information sharing. According to the police, security personnel were mobilized immediately after the report was received. That response allowed the operation to begin while the criminals were still in the area. The involvement of police officers, vigilantes, local hunters, and other security stakeholders also demonstrates the importance of cooperation between formal security agencies and local communities. Local hunters and community-based security groups often have knowledge of forest routes and difficult terrain that can be valuable during rescue operations. The successful use of drone technology adds another layer to that cooperation. Modern security operations increasingly depend on technology, intelligence, and speed. But while the rescue is a significant achievement, the bigger challenge remains preventing such attacks from happening in the first place. How did the attackers manage to establish a roadblock close to a military checkpoint? How did they obtain or use vigilante-style uniforms? And how were they able to escape into the forest after abducting motorists? These are questions investigators will need to answer. Understanding how the criminals planned the attack could help security agencies identify weaknesses and prevent similar incidents. The police have also appealed to members of the public to provide timely and credible information. That appeal is important because many kidnapping operations depend on local knowledge. Criminal groups may rely on information about movement patterns, isolated roads, forest routes, and security deployments. Community intelligence can therefore become an important tool in disrupting their activities. The Edo State Police Command has assured residents that it remains committed to their offensive against kidnapping and other violent crimes across the state. The immediate priority is now to locate the fleeing suspects. For the 4 rescued victims, the priority is different. They are back with their families. They survived an ordeal that could have ended very differently. Their rescue is a reminder that coordinated security operations can produce results when intelligence, technology, local knowledge, and rapid response are combined. But it is also a reminder of the danger still facing motorists on some Nigerian highways. The real victory will come when travelers can use major roads without fear of being ambushed, abducted, or attacked. Until then, every successful rescue matters, but every preventable kidnapping remains a warning. What do you think? Should more technology, including drones and surveillance systems, be deployed along Nigeria's major highways to prevent kidnapping attacks? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this report informative, like this video, subscribe to the channel for more reports and in-depth analysis from Nigeria and around the world. I am Cassie Tony, and many thanks for watching.